Do it for Christ. Only got one life. Got one shot at this, I gotta do it right. Yeah, I gotta do it right. Yeah, I gotta do it right. Yeah. Do it for Christ. Only got one life. Got one shot at this, I gotta do it right. Yeah, I gotta do it right. Time to throw in the towel. I've been holding on this for a while. Moving on my own skin. Crocodile, yeah, I'm washed in the blood. Made new, can't tell who I was. No, he saved me by grace. He did it just because. Yeah, my flesh was on E. Had to fill it with the spirit. God, I've been bleeding. Secretly in prayer, gotta keep it.
Welcome to Wealthy Marriage Wednesday.
Hello.
Yes, indeed. Come on. Don't play around with us.
Come on, tell your friends, tell everybody. Come on,
Tell
man.
a neighbor today.
Yes.
I dare you share it with somebody who you normally don't share with.
Listen,
We're gonna be talking about property management today. Y'all gonna want to hear about this. It's some good stuff right here.
So go ahead and share.
Share
Share with that person you know that is saying, I've been wanting to get into real estate. And we're gonna tell them a little bit of behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Right. Just a couple little something. You know what I mean? We're going to be talking about some good stuff today. It's Wealthy Marriage Wednesday. Feel free to like, share, put this out here. We're going to be talking about property management basics today.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of stuff in real estate. He said, hey, Coach John and Joy, hook it up. We want to talk about real estate with y'all, hear about what's going on, talk about a few different things.
Okay.
And so that's what we're here to do. Hopefully, some of the different things that we share, some of the different things that we talk about is encouraging for you. But ultimately, our whole goal is to inspire you to be able to get into real estate yourself. We want to see you all win and do it big for yourselves and your family. And we know for a fact that it is going to be good for you. So our time today is going to be filled talking about some good stuff. So update. Joy Mays, give us a little update. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, we have a couple of flips and stuff going on.
This is a rental. We are finishing up.
Hold on, the video started
playing.
Hey, we're going to give y'all the video. Just cut Joy right off.
You did.
Hey,
we have some rentals that we just did.
We're going to have to call our head of technology. Head of technology, get your stuff together.
Get it together. Cut me on off. It's all right.
We're going to come back.
I love you, head of technology.
Oh, yeah, I'm the head of technology.
All right, finishing up. Took 2 weeks. We changed our standard package a little bit to be a little bit more elevated. New plumbing, new shower, new bathtub, everything fresh in there. Obviously tightened up all the mechanicals. It's good to go. It's a 3-bedroom. It's on a slab, so we use pill and stick flooring. That's really thick and good. We love it. It's not the pill and stick, it's the glue down. It'll survive a flood. New laundry room back here, all new cabinets, obviously tile backsplash. We are providing appliances in this unit because they was already here. Last step is getting all of this junk out, and then you in there. So holla at us if you're looking for a 3-bedroom rental, but at the same time, hopefully you understand this is mainly just a really good paint and drywall job, putting in some decent fixtures instead of being cheap, and then tiling the bathroom, and then you should have a nice solid rental that will last a lifetime. Peace out.
Hey, so what?
All right, let's get that out of here.
Yes.
All right. So that was a very abrupt video introduction for you all. And congratulations to the head of technology.
You're welcome. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Tech Man.
Thank you very much. That guy's getting fired. I'm telling you after this, he's fired.
We're going to have to talk to management.
We get to call management. We're about to call management.
Yes.
All right, so check it out. Hey, so Joy, now tell us though. Give us a little update, how things going on in the business before we get started talking about property management.
Things are going well. We have had a full plate We have had a full plate here lately. We've got a couple of flips going on. We're really excited about. There's just been some great opportunities, and so we are amping up our flip game, sharpening our skills. We have one that we're closing on Friday. And we have one. Actually, we have two. We have two. We're closing on Friday. One we're selling, one we're purchasing. So we are rolling right along. We have jumped into 2025 like we in the Indy 500.
Hey, we ain't worried about no snow. There was snow. It could be cold, icy. My guy said, "Hey, John, hey, we got to get this work."
Hey, I got people calling, looking at properties.
Yeah, you know that's how we do it. Yeah. And so we've been talking about this because we living this out in front of you, and so hopefully you get in the game this year, 2025. Many of you have been wanting to do rentals and stuff, but one of the big barriers is like, hey, how do you manage these properties? And then even bigger than that, should I manage properties? Do I got what it takes? Like, no, dealing with tenants, man. The thought is kind of the most scariest thought, because here goes. Let me share with you what happens over and over again. Somebody will say they had one rental, and they're usually that person with the one rental either inherited the property or it was their first house, right? And then they moved, or it was they got married and it was one of their wife house or their husband house, and then they decided to rent it out. Didn't know what they was doing. Like, this is a very common story. Had no idea what they was doing. Guess what? We did it too. You rent it out. You're like, I'm gonna keep this thing, jack it all up. Tenant tear some stuff up. Wasn't making no money, and then called you a bunch of times. Tore up the house that you helped to fix up, and you remember painting this wall, and then that tenant tore it up, and then you're all sad. And then they come and talk about the horror stories. I used to have rental properties, and then tenants. You know, I sold my rental properties. I ain't doing that mess no more.
Well,
and unfortunately, they're jaded and uninformed. And many of us, like me and Joy, we could have been jaded and uninformed after we left our first rental in 2013.
Yeah, that's right.
We sold our first rental property. We probably could have kept it, but we was jaded too. Man, they messed that place up. We had to put a new roof on there.
Let's just get rid of it.
Let's just go ahead and get rid of it. And so that property that we sold has now basically quadrupled in value, and we walked away from over $400,000 in equity because we were so sad about this property, and the tenants was. And so we here to tell you a little bit about property management, because this is the thing that helps you to have that staying power. Somebody need to put staying power in the chat.
Staying power.
It's like, to become wealthy, it don't happen overnight. It's not even quick. You're going to put everybody else is going to get paid. Everybody else gets served. And then on the back end, years later, you will become wealthy. And that's how wealth works. But you got to have staying power in order to do it. And so that takes good management. And so today we're going to be talking about management in a significant way. Hopefully anybody who's joining us right now who didn't catch the video at the beginning, you'll get a chance to see one of our rentals, so you can rewind that, check it out later. Or we probably post it too. We'll probably post that for y'all to take a look at. Talking about some basics. Obviously, we're Coach John and Joy. You can always hit us up at 502-632-3005. If you have property goals this year, we'd love to help you all. We got the best group of mentees. Honestly, you can apply for that program to be one of our mentees. We'd love, if you're the right fit, to be able to be a person we can help on your real estate journey. So this is all about this big deal right here.
Freedom formula.
And copyright. Copyright.
We are turning time into money.
And turning that money into assets.
And turning them assets into freedom.
Freedom to what do you say?
To do whatever I want.
Freedom to do whatever God's called you to do without restriction. Freedom to be able to be the fullness of who you're supposed to be. So guess what? If we're not chasing check to check, or if we're not chasing month to month, or if we're not chasing year to year, if we know we got a long-term cash flow outlook, it's going to give us more options, and options give us the ability to do more good stuff in our community and do more good stuff in our families. And so, hey, as always, we're going to give you the disclaimer.
That's right.
You know what time it is. It's a disclaimer time. This is for your informational, educational purposes only. Any information shared by John and Joy is of their experiences, and you can take it and leave it. Do your own research. By all means, fact check a person who you randomly saw on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or somewhere else. Please and make sure at the end of the day that you make an action-oriented decision at the end of what you hear by being focused on how you can implement the things that you hear. Don't just be a hearer, be a person who goes, gets more informed after this, and then takes some significant action.
That's right.
And so we are here with you on this journey. We're sharing you success secrets, specifically things. It's like a peek under the curtain. You get to hear from us what we are experiencing in real time. You also get to learn from the wisdom of all those who poured into us through the years as well. And so,
I got a question. Well, question statement rather.
Right.
So I'm new in real estate. Should I self-manage?
Man, we get this question all the time. Y'all need to look at this question.
Yeah.
And so, should I self-manage or should I not self-manage? And that comes right from all those same stories we was just telling y'all about.
Yeah.
So we get those war stories, all the people telling all the evil and nasty and negative things about tenants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so somewhere in the midst of all that, we get to the point where we say, should I manage it or do I have what it takes? Do I want to deal with the hassle and the trouble? And we're here to tell you, then this ain't no hassle and no trouble.
It's really not.
Especially if you know what you are doing. And so we're here to talk about some things that are going to help you.
That's right.
But then also let's talk about how to make that decision, because we need to help on how to think through it. So why to self-manage? We're going to give you 3 reasons right now, because we believe everybody who wants to do real estate should self-manage at least for some point of time.
And it's very, very, very important to do that. And so because it gives you a different perspective on it, and it just shows you what to look for when you go to property to a property manager.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So first up is understanding the people who you serve. And so when you understand, like if you got people you're serving, there's no business. If you open a restaurant, don't you want to know who your clientele is? If you open a high-end restaurant, do you want to know the people who are coming out? If you're opening a restaurant in a certain neighborhood, would you want to know the likes and dislikes of that community, what the culture is in the area? Yeah.
Of course.
Number one reason why you want to self-manage at least your first few years, or at least your first set of properties, is to make sure that you understand the people who you're serving.
That's right.
Very, very important. Any
important.
business that you have, to be a master, you have to be able to be a master of your clientele.
That's right.
Like specifically for us, we do probably about half of our properties that we do for affordable housing or people on different programs like voucher programs and things of that nature.
Right.
Well, we take the time to study those programs. We get, when they schedule a Zoom call or they put some new information out, we stay informed about those things. We like to know what they like and don't like, because that's the person who's paying you. If you're making the customer is the one who's paying you, and the client is the one who's being served.
Right.
And so we understand our clients. So that's the resident of the property. But at the same time, the person who's paying you is your customer. And so you have to be able to know what the customer wants.
That's right.
And so if you're going to manage somebody else who's doing it, you're going to need to know what that person wants, so you can make sure that you're up on that, and it'll help you make good decisions. So also being able to manage a property manager. Guess what? Management is going to require management.
That's right.
So we'll get into that a little bit later. And then also you make better, wiser purchase decisions when you understand your clients and you understand the programs and who's going to be renting from. If you're going to be renting into a market that's mostly factory workers, or it's anchored by a factory, or if it's anchored by a military base, or if it's anchored by a specific tenant base, it's going to give you an advantage when you self-manage. You understand their needs. You understand if you're renting to college students, you're going to want to know the semesters, the dorms, how that stuff works, the transition from one to another. What are they thinking about? What's their schedule going to be like? You can do that and plan for those things so that you can maximize your service to those people, and then also that you cover any risk associated with the people you're serving. So at first, it's important to self-manage. But then here's the next question that comes up. Well, when do I get a manager?
Oh, well.
Okay. All right. Well, now we're going to go into heavier teaching mode.
Yeah, heavy teaching
mode. Yeah. So y'all hang in here with this, because you're going to want to hear this stuff, because you're not going to hear this anywhere else.
Yeah. So when to get a manager, one of the best things that even when we first started with our real estate, is if you live far away, like we lived in a different state from then our rental property. So it was advantageous for us to be able to have a manager.
Yep.
was.
So we were living at the time, we were living in Texas. And so we were living in Texas, but our rental property was in Tennessee. And so we lived so far away for us to be able to choose tenants and go back and forth. We had people who could have helped us, but there's nobody like somebody who does it full time, who
Right.
can get it right. But living far away, you need a manager, somebody you can trust, somebody you got good communication with.
Right.
So the next reason, when to get a manager. And plus, it's not good when you are managing. I know people who do it.
Okay.
Manage properties from out of state.
Yeah.
It is I'm gonna tell you,
It's
if you come to
challenging.
our market, if you want to look at the worst, most rundown spots, most of them are,
Well,
no disrespect, but most of them are for people who not around town. It's
yeah.
because they don't have any connection to it. And so for them, it's just an investment, dollars and cents. Is this paying me or not? To people who are local, they have some sort of reputation, and it just hits a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And then plus, usually people who are in town
Yeah.
keep their properties up a little bit better than people out of town, just on average from my experience. But I'm just here to share that.
No,
with
that's
you.
a good point. That's a good point, because you take better care of something when you can put your hands on
Yep.
it, when you can actually put your eyes on it live.
Yep.
It makes a difference.
And the only reason we're saying that is because we buy properties, and
Yeah.
some of the people you buy from are people out of state, and some of the people you buy from are people in state.
Yeah.
And I would say, by and large, for people who actually invest at any type of scale, not like one or two.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who invest at scale. The ones who are in town, if you buy from them, you're buying a better product than if you're buying from somebody who's out of town, more than likely.
Yes.
All right. And so let's keep going.
Okay.
All right. So if you're not willing to learn voucher program standards,
Oh yeah.
that's a big one. Look at that. I'm not willing to learn. So guess what?
Mhm.
If you're not willing to learn
Yeah.
about Section 8,
Oh my.
then don't do Section 8.
Right.
Like, look, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe you got somebody who is a secure person,
Mhm.
and you ran everything, and it's a straight tenant, and they ain't gonna cause you no problems, and you feel good about it, and they already know the neighborhood
Yeah.
and the property, and they're just in and out of town all the time, and they're just going to sleep there, and they want to pay you on auto. Well, fine. You
Yeah.
rented that person, it don't take a whole bunch of stuff. But if you're going to deal with a program, know what they expect.
Yeah.
Know what they expect.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're going to come in and inspect your property.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're paying you.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure it's right. They have a standard,
Yeah.
so make sure you hit their standard. You got to learn what it is and then
That's
hit
right.
it. It's not hard.
No.
And if it was that hard, a lot of people wouldn't have nowhere to live. So it's definitely achievable.
Yes.
It's just taking the time, which
To-
is not a lot of time,
and to
but
learn it.
just learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Next up,
I have completely run out of time in my calendar and are neglecting my properties and tenants. Oh, sometimes life kills life.
yeah, life.
Yes.
Yeah, some of y'all who watch us are active in ministry. Some
Yes.
of y'all run nonprofits. Some of you got like 2 jobs. I mean,
Mhm.
all that stuff gets you. Like, guess what? If
Yeah.
you got 15 other things, what about your family?
Right.
If you got other things going on that are just taking precedence, you just have to say, is the little bit of money I'm going to pay, and it's like, even if you feel like it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
is that money worth my time?
Mm.
Like, how much money is worth your time?
Yeah.
And like, it's really that simple. And if you're a high value or high income earner,
Mhm.
why would you do low income stuff?
Yeah.
And so why do something that a person who's a professional can handle, or why do something that somebody who you would pay a lot less than what you make?
And
To
that
do.
time that you was
Yeah,
managing the properties and doing all those things,
right.
if you can
Make
make
more money. Yeah. And it don't got to be in real estate, but
No.
some of you got high value skills.
That's right.
Like, if you make it $50, $60 an hour, $70, $100 an hour, $200, $500, whatever you
Yeah.
making, go do more of that, and then
Right.
pay somebody to do the watching over your properties, collecting your rent,
Right.
and dealing with any phone calls. And then you say, but here it goes. This is how you're gonna be cheap. Let me show you how cheap you're gonna be.
Oh man.
This is
Show
how
'em
cheap
show.
you're gonna be.
Go ahead.
But they didn't get no calls last month. Well, I'm still paying them. I'm like, you know what? Did you file an insurance claim on your car last month? Did you file a
Right.
life insurance policy
Right.
last month?
Right.
Did you file a you know what I'm saying? Are you
Did you go to the emergency room last month?
yeah? And
Like,
so
don't
like,
be-
okay, so unless you use it, it's not valuable to have it. Help me understand. And so if you are the liability in your business, get a manager.
That's right.
And so if you don't have time to go ride by your properties, take care of your tenants, make sure you actually collect and rent.
Right.
Some of y'all so busy, you don't even collect your own rent.
Listen.
Like seriously, it'd be like the 10th of the month. You're like, they didn't even pay me. Dang, you know what? You probably shouldn't be managing. Okay, you ain't sending out no letter, nothing. You because you're not managing it. You're just kind of collecting rent casually.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's you, so walk away. You know, like get somebody to do that part for you.
That's me.
And that's Joy walking
That's
away.
me walking away.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I'll just call Joy out.
Yeah,
Y'all
he
don't do that.
did. He
I have
called
an
me out.
extreme case of social anxiety.
Oh,
In extreme cases, this is serious stuff, man.
I never thought about that.
No, this is serious, man. Like
Yeah.
some people have an extreme. You get you a property manager.
Yeah.
If you extreme, not like a regular, like I'm kind of an introvert. Well, everybody's kind of an introvert in different situations.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like extreme. Like if you get around people and you just start to freeze up, you know, or they intimidate you. Then hire a property manager.
Yeah.
Like lower your people contact. Next one. Oh, this is a good one. I am unwilling to hold people accountable. Ooh, that's nasty. Okay,
That's
look.
tough. Right
Accountability is rough, man, because like you agree to something as a landlord.
Right.
Okay. If you own a property, you're saying I agree to keep the maintenance right on this property.
Yep.
If you don't, hold on. I hope any tenants, I need y'all to click off right now. Click off. If you stop paying, you gotta still keep the heat on in that property. You got to keep the water, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure people have a livable place, even if they don't pay you, even if they tearing your stuff up. You got to be a person, if you're not willing to be able to have tough conversations to hold people accountable to their side, which is paying and which is following up on the management of the things that they're responsible to do. If you say you need renter's insurance and they don't get renter's insurance, then that's a lease violation.
It is.
If you say no animals and they got an animal, then it's a lease violation. It's not really a lease until you follow up on the parts of things that they're supposed to do. Yeah. Like if you're the only one in the agreement that's doing what they're supposed to do,
right,
then there's a problem. So you have to make sure that the person who agreed, signed their name, gave you money to bind it up and on a legal document is doing the things that they said that they were going to do. But if you're a person who does not want to hold people accountable, you should probably get a manager. Because I'm going to tell you, property managers don't have no problem with it. They ain't going for all the excuses, nothing like that. They will go ahead and walk yourself right up out of there. And it's business. And so you just got to make sure that you know who you are and be self-aware. Next one.
Oh, I don't feel safe visiting the property.
I don't feel safe. Guess what? Think about a neighborhood right now, and you know a neighborhood, because if you're watching this show, you know at least one of them neighborhoods. Don't even lie. I want you to think about a neighborhood that you don't feel safe going to at night. Think about that neighborhood. See, some of y'all go extremely hard too. Y'all like, ain't no neighborhood, ain't nowhere in the United States. I just show up and they know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Real G right here.
Real talk.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. OG. Yeah, I know it.
OG, triple OG.
There's some place that you like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you got a place like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Then everybody needs a place to live, and somebody lives there.
Yep.
And if you happen to own that building for whatever reason, you might want to get a manager. Okay. He said, hold up. What did they say right here? It says, if I ain't scared. Okay. Well, we got one who ain't scared, but some of y'all, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And so make sure that you follow those tips as far as choosing a property management. Reasons not to pick a property manager or get a property manager. Because you lazy. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said that.
Wait a minute.
Dang, I just led in with that. That was too soon. I just went right in.
You did.
But seriously though, sometimes we just lazy. We don't want to do some work. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to get mastery in this business.
Yeah.
And we want you to be successful, not people who just buy stuff and then
Right.
end up going broke. And because I'm telling you, we see a lot of uninformed people who not watching this show,
Mhm.
uninformed people who never get good counsel before they do things.
That's right.
And we're telling you what an uninformed person does
Yeah.
to be unsuccessful.
That's right.
One of those things is not taking the time to do something new, which is property management. It's like, hey, I got this property. Let me just pass it to somebody without me knowing all the details and
Right.
let them do it for me. And I guarantee you, there's two things that are going to happen.
Mhm.
The first thing that's going to happen is
Mhm.
you're going to pay a stupid tax.
Oh yeah.
They're going to find a lot of reasons to charge you a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
you're just going to be,
Okay. Okay.
and then the second thing that's going to happen is you're going to get frustrated with once you find out, and then you're going to sell that property for cheap. And so instead of going through that,
Yeah.
learn how to do it on the front end.
That's
You'll
right.
be glad that you did.
Yep.
All right. Next up,
Oh, what's up there? Oh,
you got to lock this in when you're thinking
Yeah.
about management.
this is so true.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's gonna put more care or love into your property than you.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Nobody's going to care as much as you.
Yeah.
And so that's not a bad thing.
No.
So part of hiring people into a business, once you have a rental property,
Yeah.
whether you really like it or not, you are a business owner.
Yep.
And maybe some people can even you're taking on a little baby step toward entrepreneurship,
Mm,
but you're a business owner at that point.
Yep.
And once you're a business owner, you are going to have to know you're not going to find nobody who cares about your business like you care about your business.
Nobody.
Yeah, guess what? We got a property that's our first property.
Oh,
We
man.
could tell you all the nooks and crannies. In that
Oh
one.
man.
I mean, we know all the details of that joint.
That's right.
And it's something that's very important to us.
Mhm.
And so even in your properties, you have a vision for that property.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
the one who bought it. You're the one
Yeah.
who got excited about it. You're the one who
Mhm.
walked it, and you're the one who put part of the thing that they've earned and labored for
Oh yeah.
into this. And you're the
Mhm.
one who's hopeful for the future. That person who's managing it, or even a person who's working for you,
Yeah.
as much as they may be bought into the vision, they're not going to have it like you got it.
Nah.
And so that goes two different ways. One is if you're a person who's thinking about getting property management, but you're worried, but you really know it's your time to do it for one of those reasons I might have shared with you,
Yeah.
is understand that there may be some things they do that aren't perfect,
Yeah.
but you're still going to need to be able to communicate and be able to work together for the uplifting, for the better good
Mhm.
over time.
That's right.
Yeah. And then on the other side of it is that if you're a person who does not has to understand that if you give it to somebody else,
Yeah.
they're not going to treat it as good as you would treat it.
No.
They're not going to fix it up as good as you would fix it up.
Nope.
It's just a lot of things they're not going to do as good as how you would do it personally because it's your business. But at the
Mhm.
same time, that doesn't mean because they do it differently or they have a different way of going about it that it's going to work out better or worse for you. It's just something necessarily to be aware of.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
right.
All right. Cool.
That's good
Cool.
stuff.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Next up, you got to stay informed.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to
Staying
stay
informed is
informed. You
important.
still have to manage there is no set it, forget it. Another thing that we got to tell you is real
Mhm.
estate is not a passive investment.
No.
It can be semi-passive,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you can't just put it off in the stock market or on a hard drive like Bitcoin, stick it somewhere and then come out and just see what you got,
Yeah.
and actually literally touch nothing, do nothing, and just watch it go up or different things.
Mhm.
Like the big part is to be able to make sure that you are paying attention to your business
Yeah.
and staying on point. I see this right here. It says, Pastor Mays, is it the sole responsibility of the property owner to maintain the electrical, plumbing, and building safety of the property or the tenant occupant? It is the owner's responsibility. That's a good
Yes.
question.
It's a
And
very
thank
good
you for
question.
asking. It's like, as an owner, you're responsible to take care of that property.
Yeah.
And so by taking care of that property, I'm talking about taking care of the electrical, taking care of the plumbing.
Yeah.
You can't have the roof leaking. I mean, all those different things. The
Right.
tenant's responsibility is to take care of the sanitation of the property.
Mhm.
Oftentimes it's in the lease that they change the filter in the property, like the filter for the furnace.
Right.
Sometimes usually if it's a single family home, they would be
Mhm.
responsible for the landscaping probably about 90% of the time, things of that nature. nature.
Yeah.
But the actual building itself is the landlord's responsibility.
Right.
And it's the right thing to do for your ongoing investment. Do you want water getting to your property? Do you want a fire to start in your property? Do you want water leaks in your property? Anything that affects the value of the property of that nature, you really want to be the one who's taking a lead on anyway, because that's your investment.
Yeah, the utilities being paid in single family homes
It's
generally is the
Tenant.
responsibility of the tenant.
Yeah.
So they're paying their electric, they're paying their water, gas, all those things like that. But as far as them working properly, that is on the owner.
Yep. And then also for the utilities in a apartment, many times the owner pays water, but then the tenant would pay for like the electrical, or sometimes they pay trash, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they split off the water bill and have the tenants pay, the residents pay part of the water or not.
Right.
You know, for us personally, we have a mixture of both.
Yes.
And it just depends on the actual property itself. We have some where we actually, you know, pay the water bill on some. We even got, I think, one where it's like we like, hey, pay the electric bill too. It's kind of a small house, you know, with a great furnace and well insulated. It was like, I might as well pick it up and include it and then add that as one of the benefits. So you really kind of got to take it on a case by case basis. Another question came in, says, do you use sub meters? I know people who do. We personally don't. For us, we just bake it into the rents and then just add that as a value. We do a lot of market research to see. Sometimes, you know, with some of the utilities, you end up kind of stepping over a dollar to kind of pick up a nickel.
Yeah.
So having a great long-term tenant is probably better than you know, sometimes the water bill, specifically based on the size of the property and how much the impact is going to be. And so this has been a great session. I think we got a lot of good stuff going on. So we got a couple easy tips for you all, but we're going to save those easy tips for another day, because we got
if you want to know those easy tips, give us a text us.
Yeah, text us. All right. So we're going to hit you all up. Yeah, hey, y'all text us right here at 502-632-3005. We text us. Hit us up. Matter of fact, we got some more tips. We might have to do part 2 next week because we got into it. But at the end of the day, we want y'all to be successful, and not just successful regular. We want y'all to be successful together. So make sure you give your boo thing a little squeeze. There you go. And remember, it's always better together.
See y'all next time.